Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of the Gate 102 podcast. Hope you're doing well and have had a good week. I must start by apologising that there wasn't an episode last week. But firstly, I wasn't feeling too great, so decided to give it a miss. But also, England were playing, and there's quite a complex situation going on with the managerial situation. So, yeah, I thought it would be best to not do one last week. But I'm back and delighted to be back. So today I'll be talking about the time England lost 3-2 to France in Paris back in June 2017. So sometimes friendlies can be a bit boring and can turn into a bit of a non-event. But yeah, this was an exciting game, to be honest. Not as exciting as the Scotland game, which was my last episode I did. So yeah, do give it a listen if you haven't yet. But yeah, still full of excitement and drama. So time to run through the starting lineup Gareth picked on his 8th game in charge. So Tom Heaton started in goal. It was a back five of Kieran Trippier, Phil Jones, John Stones, Gary Cahill and Ryan Bertrand. A midfield three of Eric Dyer, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Dele Alli. And then a front two of Harry Kane and Raheem Sterling. A very prolific front two. Yes, so Tom Heaton started in goal. This was his last game for England. He came in for Joe Hart, but it was also a debut for Kieran Trippier. Obviously, Trips is a player who went on to represent his country 54 times. But yeah, it was also a return for Phil Jones, who hadn't played for England in a while. He was back in the side, making it a back three. It was another appearance for Oxlade-Chamberlain, who started the game after scoring against Scotland just 3 days earlier. And Kane was captain for the second time as well, leading the line up front. So yeah, a strong team, to be honest. I think it's fair to say that France were the hardest team Southgate had faced up against so far. Obviously, he did lose to Germany, but that was a slightly second-string German side that was put out on the day. This French side included the likes of Mbappe, Kante, Giroud, Varane, Dembele, Paul Pogba. It goes without saying England weren't expected to win. I think the golfing class between the two sides was noticeable, especially in the first half. France controlled the game better than England. Having said that, it was England who took the lead through their newly named skipper, Harry Kane. He managed to score past his Tottenham teammate, Hugo Lloris. And yeah, England were 1-0 up. And it was a brilliant cross from Ryan Bertrand, sort of drilling it hard and low. And yeah, Kane got goal side of his man. And yeah, just poked it past his Tottenham teammate. So yeah, although France were the better team, England were winning, which was a good start, but they weren't winning for long. I think after we scored, I seem to remember England sort of sat back a bit, didn't have much of the ball. Although Southgate put a defensive back five out, try and make it difficult for the French front line. They were just too good for us. Got the equaliser midway through the first half. And yeah, I think the likes of Giroud, Mbappe, Dembele, doesn't matter what centre half you put out, you're in for a tough game. It was 1-1, and this was actually the first time England had conceded the goal in the first half in 8 games. The last time they did that was the Iceland disaster in the Euros in 2016. So, yeah, they've lasted a whole season without conceding a goal in the first half, which was impressive, to be honest. It was 1-1, but you knew it was only a matter of time before France took the lead. Giroud and Dembele both had chances to put the hosts ahead, but Tom Heaton, the Burnley goalkeeper, was keeping them at bay. Did really well in the first half, I thought, but eventually France did score just before half-time through Sidibe. I don't know if I said that right, but yeah, France were 2-1 up, and going into half time, and this was sort of expected, to be honest, before the game. At half time, England made a double change. Stoke City goalkeeper Jack Butland replaced Tom Heaton, who I thought did well, but this is clearly a planned sub. And also Kyle Walker replaced Ryan Bertrand, and Kieran Trippier moved over from the right to left, switching flank. Walker at right wing back and Trippier at left wing back. And I think it goes to show that even on his debut, Gareth trusted Trippier could do a job as a left wing back or left back, even on game one. But it was an eventful start to the second half. Dele Alli was fouled inside the 18-yard box within the first 5 minutes of the restart. Not only did this mean England had a penalty, but it also meant they were playing against 10 men. As Varane received a second yellow card. I think Southgate was a bit annoyed that England were playing against 10 men, as they couldn't learn as much from the game, because 9 times out of 10 you'd take a red card for the opposition, but in a friendly, I think sort of one to be playing against 11, because that's when you learn more. But England did equalise through Harry Kane, who scored his second goal of the game. Hugo Lloris will know all about Harry Kane and penalties, but once again, Kane won by striking it low and hard straight down the middle of the goal. And I think Kane rarely puts it down the middle, but this was clearly done, as Lloris would have definitely expected him to go to our side. But it was 2-2, and it was turned into quite an exciting game. But even though France had one less player than England, they were still on top, and going forward they were just deadly. They had so much pace. I think they had Mbappe and Dembele up front. We had Phil Jones and Gary Cahill, who aren't the fastest, against them. So Mbappe set up Dembele, who scored what turned out to be the winning goal for France with 12 minutes to go. France went on to win the game. And I think it's fair to say England could have played better. The main thing in a friendly is that you learn a lot about the team. And although it was hindered by France going down to 10 men, Southgate would have learned a significant amount about his side ahead of the 2018 World Cup. But there were some positives. Obviously, it was a debut for Trippier, who was sort of thrown in at the deep end of it, but did really well. Harry Kane, under Hodgson, Kane got 5 goals in 17 games, and already in 2 games under Southgate, he'd scored 3. So, he clearly knew how to get the best out of Kane. And I thought the 3 centre-backs struggled, Jones, Stones and Cahill. I think if Kyle Walker would have been part of the back 3 rather than as a wing-back, I personally think we might have been able to keep up with Mbappe and Dembele, but obviously this is something he learned, and in Russia we saw Walker as a centre back rather than a wing back, and I think this game is something that he'd have remembered. But nonetheless, France were a better team, and in the last 7 meetings, France had won 5, drawn 1. So they clearly knew how to beat England. And it goes to show they were a team that were hard to beat. I must also mention that before the game, there was quite emotional scenes before kickoff, because this was the first England game since the Manchester terrorist attack. So it was sort of a nice touch. The crowd singing "Don't Look Back in Anger" by Oasis, and also the France fans joined in with the England national anthem, which I thought was nice. So, although obviously it was a horrific event, it was nice to see both sets of fans come together and show the support in that moment. That was nice, and a defeat for England, but like I say, he'd have learnt a lot. So that's that for this episode. Massive thanks for listening. Very much appreciated as always. I'll be back next week talking about a 4-0 win against Malta, which was just 3 months later. Just a reminder, we're available on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, so give us a follow if you haven't already. And feel free to drop a message if you want. I'm always up for a chat about England, past and present, so yeah, feel free to do that. But thanks for listening. And until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon.